Wada, you are.
Yama, or Yama Malia.
I'm Carmel O'Shannessy, speaking to you today from Aranda Country, from Bandwa, Alice Springs. I'm the convener of Language and Society in Indigenous Australia. What I love about Australian Indigenous languages is that they really are the languages of the first peoples of Australia who've been here for a very long time. They're very different from English, and they're very different from a lot of other languages in the world.
I'm Italian and I love speaking my language. I'm also excited at how much Gamilaroi and Yuwalari people want to speak their language, and so it's great to be able to help them do that by researching and teaching the language. And it's also a fascinating language. Peter, how did you find it in the class?
I loved learning Gamilaroi. For me, it was great to connect with my culture and also connect with my family by looking back at some of the things that my grandma would say and recognising some of the words as I was able to learn them.
If you study these languages, you'll learn a lot about the richness and complexity of them, some of their interesting aspects, and open up a whole new world of social and cultural thinking that goes along with knowing these languages.
Students should come to the ANU to study Gamilaroi because it's a great way for non-Indigenous people to connect with culture in a meaningful way and also to help contribute to the revival of the language and things like that. So it's just a great way to get involved and to really sort of experience culture firsthand.
ANU is the best place to study these languages because there are several different offerings available, and it's one of the few places that has such rich offerings in a university in Australia. A student who works in this area might work in language centres, in regional centres, or in remote areas. There's an element of adventure and discovery that goes along with exploring the lands that these languages belong to across Australia.
So it would be great to see people joining the Gamilaroi classes here at ANU. And Yalu Malia, goodbye friends.
Yalu Malia.
Kala Ngulajuku.
Herete, Salvete. Welcome to the Colosseum in the Eternal City of Rome. My name is Dr. Sonia Pertsanidis, and I'm from the Centre for Classical Studies here at the ANU. What I really love about ancient Greek and Latin is that these languages give you the key to a doorway to an ancient world, a distant world, but one that is still so familiar to us in so many ways. By studying these languages, you will open that doorway and understand an ancient culture and society that has had so much influence on modern culture and society. Ancient Greek and Latin are fascinating languages, and they're languages that have entire thought worlds behind a single word. Take, for example, the word enthusiasm in English. Enthusiasm comes from the Greek enthous, the God within. So it signifies that there is a God that has taken possession of us and is acting through us. That is the true meaning of the word enthusiasm. So by studying ancient Greek and Latin, you will get a deeper understanding of the richness of words and words that have entered directly into English. You'll also develop the capability to read ancient texts, and that will open up a world of knowledge to you. ANU offers a vibrant language program in both ancient Greek and Latin. We offer that program to beginners and people with no prior experience. You'll be learning these ancient languages in a nurturing, small classroom environment with direct interaction and instruction from your lecturer. Learning ancient Greek and Latin will open up a world of skills to you, and those skills are directly transferable to a whole range of professions. Every employer is looking for an employee who can problem solve, who can read texts closely, and who can understand the subtleties and nuances of language and communication. Many of our students go into teaching roles or into academia, but they also go into roles in museums and as curators. They work for government and for publishing industries, and explore other professions that involve engaging with history and with antiquity. I really hope that we see you in the Centre for Classical Studies at the ANU and in our beautiful ANU Classics Museum sometime soon. And I really look forward to welcoming you to the classics community.
Marhaban, my name is Leila Kowetli, and I'm the convener of the Arabic program at the Center for Arab and Islamic Studies at the ANU. We are one of the few universities in Australia offering Arabic as a foreign language, both online and in person. Arabic is a beautiful and rich language. And what I love about it is that it's systematic. It's almost mathematical. There are no exceptions to the rules. Arabic is a very important language to learn. Not only it is one of the 6 official languages of the United Nations, but it's also spoken by about 300 million people around the world. For Australia, it is particularly also important considering the number of Arab Australians we have. Arabic is a highly regarded language by employers, both in the private and public sector. Students who have completed a minor or a major in Arabic have an advantage when applying for government jobs in departments like Foreign Affairs, Home Affairs, Defence, or Attorney Generals. But also in the private sector, with the number of Australian and international companies having offices in the Middle East, and not to mention the NGOs operating in the region. Learning Arabic is a truly rewarding journey. I hope you can join us at ANU. Shukran wa ila liqa.
Bonjour, my name is Solène Nsioglu and I'm a senior lecturer in French studies and the convener of the French program here at the ANU. So I love French and it's a very biased reason. I am a native speaker of French, I grew up in Paris, I teach French, and as a linguist I do research on how learners acquire French. I really like the sounds of French. I think that it's a very beautiful language. And in particular, I'm very interested in the different vowels of French. So we have a lot of vowels, especially nasal vowels, on, un, and they are usually very difficult for non-native learners to acquire. And I did my dissertation on those nasal vowels, and I find them fascinating. So French is a very useful language to know. It's the official language of close to 30 countries. It is spoken by about 300 million native speakers, so that's not counting learners of French. And if you study French, it's going to be very helpful if you want to have a career in international relations, diplomacy, security, or if you want to work in an NGO. So French is one of the official languages of the United Nations, the European Union, the Red Cross, NATO, UNESCO, and tons of other organizations. Some of you might already be studying French, and you should definitely take it to the next level here at the ANU and become even more proficient speakers. Studying French in Canberra at the ANU is actually excellent because we have great contacts with Francophone embassies, and it also allows you to maybe do internships in those embassies or have more contact with diplomats. So if you study French at the ANU, you'll be able to take thematics courses taught by experts in French linguistics, like myself, French cinema, French philosophy, and French literature. Also, when the borders reopen, you'll be able to go on exchange to France, Switzerland, Quebec in Canada, French Polynesia, and New Caledonia. So we look forward to meeting you soon, and au revoir.
Hello. I'm Wesley Lim, lecturer in German studies, and I'm at one of my favorite ice cream cafes here in Berlin. I love German because I feel like I can take on the role of someone else. I'm also a performance studies and dance scholar, so that's one of the things that really got me interested in learning German, is taking on these different kinds of roles. And I'm really inspired to have other students be there and to take on these different kinds of roles that we do in German language courses. German's really interesting. I think the beginning students take languages, but starting at the intermediate level, they get introduced to more cultural topics. And we introduce things like screen studies, dance studies, performance studies, theater studies, feminist studies, etc. And so there's a broad range of things that the student has. While they pick German studies, they have a lot of other things that they can have underneath it that inform basically how they perceive the world and look at it. So a student who's majoring in German or studying German, who's interested maybe in research, could go into a postgrad degree later. If they're interested in doing something more international, they could look into international law. And if they studied something like business or operations, they could be interested in doing something related to banking. Well, I hope to see you in the future in my German classes. Tschüss.
Buongiorno.
Hi, I'm Josh Brown, and welcome to the Vatican City.
I love Italian and everything related to Italy. I love Italian food, architecture, Italian film, coffee, the language especially, and I love visiting Italy. Students should study Italian because it's an amazing language and it offers a key into a whole range of cultural institutions and icons. Italian is a major language during the Renaissance and it's a major power of the European Union. So here at ANU we offer some amazing Italian classes. Students get a real understanding of Italy and they can sink their teeth into the Italian language. We have very close connections to the embassy and we have people from the embassy teaching in our department here at ANU as well. Students acquire not just Italian language skills, but they also acquire cultural aspects about the language. So we teach courses on Dante Alighieri, a famous poet from the Middle Ages. We teach courses on Italian migration. We teach courses on Italian film, linguistic history of Italy. There's lots of different aspects about Italy that we teach about. So students get not just the language, but they also learn about the culture that we're teaching the language in. And everything is done in Italian as well. So there are many job opportunities for students who study Italian. That can either be in the Australian government service, in a government job, or it can be between exporting and importing between Australia and Italy. Italian is a major European language, and so there's lots of cultural and trade ties between Italy and Australia. So tourism is another big industry that many of our students go into. Otherwise, journalism, lots of our students end up going into a teaching role, either at high school or primary school. So there's lots of different opportunities for students to use their Italian language skills when they go into the workforce. Italian is one of the most widely spoken languages in Australia after English, and it's an incredible language that really gives you access to a whole bunch of cultural phenomena, and it will change your life forever. Arrivederci.
Salam. My name is Alam Saleh. I'm lecturer in Iranian studies at Australian National University. We are the only university in Australia that offers Persian language courses and also Iranian studies. We do teach Persian from elementary into intermediate and then advanced. And we're also offering some exciting courses on Iran history, culture, politics, and gender. We are also offering some amazing extra class activities such as cultural activities, calligraphy workshops, and also some celebrating festivals and events, traditional Iranian events. Persian is widely spoken across the region, Middle East, Central Asia, and also South Asia. And there are many reasons to study the language, this beautiful language, an important field of Iranian studies. It enhances your career's prospect in the field of diplomatic service, education, business and marketing, and of course, journalism. We would like to invite you to join us here at Australian National University. We are looking forward to seeing you here at ANU. خوش آمدید.
Oh, bom dia. Oi. I didn't know it was being filmed. My name is Fabrício Tocco, and I'm the new Portuguese convener. The thing I love the most about Portuguese is its music, and I'm not talking just about the music I was playing before. I mean that Portuguese has a very beautiful musicality. There are beautiful words such as bafafá, confusion, or bate-papo, conversation, that sound very musical to me. Portuguese is a very important language. It's a 1,000-year-old language spoken by 250 million people around 10 countries and states. The reason why you should study Portuguese at the ANU is not only because we're proud to be the only program that offers Portuguese for credit, but also because we have a wonderful teacher, Fernanda, who's a native speaker from Brazil. And you also have the chance to practice Portuguese with Brazilian students in an exchange program called Teletandem. If you study Portuguese at the ANU, you have great opportunities career-wise. You could study diplomacy as Portuguese rivals with Spanish to become the most spoken language in South America, but there are also countries in Australia, close to Australia, such as East Timor, or territories like Macau, where Portuguese is an official language. You could also study Portuguese in combination with other Romance languages, such as Spanish, French, or Italian. All of them are offered at SLL, and then you can have a career in academia and become a linguist or a literary scholar specializing in Romance studies. Or you could also decide not to study Spanish and study Portuguese instead and make a difference, have something different in your curriculum compared to other people who are studying Spanish. Studying Portuguese can also open doors to you in careers such as marketing and journalism, travel and accommodation, communications, business, and trade. Think about it. There are at least 100 companies, Australian companies, in Brazil right now. I look forward to seeing you at the Portuguese program at the ANU. A gente se vê.
Здравствуйте. My name is Ksenia Gnevsheva, and I'm the Russian convener at ANU. I love Russian because on the one hand, it is an easy language to learn for English speakers because there's quite a bit of overlap in grammar and vocabulary as it is an Indo-European language. And on the other hand, it is a bit of a challenge because it is different from Western European languages and it has a different script. So it will be more interesting as well. Russian is one of the most widely spoken languages in the world. In fact, it is the 6th most spoken language in the world by number of speakers. It is an official language in Russia, but also Belarus, Kazakhstan, and Kyrgyzstan. It is also spoken widely as a first or second language in many countries of the former Soviet Union. Russian is also a language of science and culture. Does Pavlov's dog ring a bell? Pavlov was a famous Russian behavioral scientist who worked on conditioning. And the dessert Pavlova is named after a Russian ballerina, Anna Pavlova. If students learn Russian, there are a number of international organizations where they can work because Russian is an official language there. For example, Russian is an official language in the United Nations, 1 out of 6 languages there, but also World Bank or the World Health Organization. Russian is also one of only 2 official languages on the International Space Station, so it can take you to space. If you study Russian at ANU, you can combine it with a number of different programs. For example, international relations or international economics and trade. These programs have specific courses and exchange programs with Russian universities. So when we can travel again, you may be able to do that as well. I'm looking forward to seeing you here at ANU. Спасибо.
Welcome to the Plaza Mayor in Madrid, Spain. My name is Manuel Delicado and I'm the convener of the Spanish program at ANU. I love Spanish because first, it is my language, but also because I think it's a very versatile language. So think of anything that you might be interested in and you'll find either Spanish speakers working on it or a lot of relevant Spanish literature on the subject. So anything you want to do, you can do with this language. So why should you study Spanish? Well, you already know what a global language is like. You already speak English, right? So imagine the amount, big numbers of speakers that you can find around the world. If you look on the other side of the Pacific, you'll find many speakers of Spanish. And also, on a more personal basis, I've got some questions for you. Think of a popular song in Spanish that you may like, or think of a popular Spanish language artist that you may listen to, or think of a popular Spanish series that you might be watching on one of the platforms that we all have. Wouldn't you be interested in learning more instead of relying on translation and dubbing? So this is why Spanish is the language for you. You should study Spanish at ANU because we offer a variety of subjects. We've got literature topics, cultural topics in general, but also linguistic topics, which is not that common in some of the universities around the world. What career options do you have? Why would it be better for you to invest in Spanish? So there are many companies around the world in Spanish-speaking countries. For instance, we know that there's a big automotive industry in Mexico, if you're interested in going over there. But also, we know of many companies from Spanish-speaking countries who are coming to Australia to invest in this country. So they will be interested in you if you already know the language. On top of that, if you're interested in any other topics, or if you want to do, for instance, some research, there are libraries throughout the world in Spanish-speaking countries that you can access as well for your research purposes. And just to finish with a figure, there are more Spanish speakers in the US than there are Australians. There are more than 40 million native speakers of Spanish in the US. So think of the opportunities for your career. We hope to see you in our Spanish classes soon. Adios.
Merhaba, my name is Burcu Çevik Kompyen and I'm the convener of a Turkish program here at ANU, which is the only Turkish program that you can find in any Australian university. In Turkish language courses that I teach, I take you to virtual tours of Istanbul, the city in which I was born, until hopefully one day you can go there in person. Turkish is a fascinating language that is not similar to any other language that I can speak, but it gives you a different way of looking at the world and different way about thinking about the world, and it gives you also access to a very particular sense of humor and a very rich literature. Turkish is the official language of Turkey, but otherwise it is also spoken widely around the world. First of all, as a second language in all of the neighboring countries and in Central Asia. It's more and more commonly taught as a foreign language, and these days with the popularity of Turkish drama, Turkish language speakers come out of places that you wouldn't expect. It is also the language of a big Turkish diaspora all around the world, including in Australia. So you might find it very useful if you're looking into an international career opportunity in public service, in politics, or anything that related to community services. I look forward to introducing you to this language at ANU. I hope to see you one day. Thank you. Hoşça kalın.